Even pig food tastes better than this. It's so awful, I can't eat it. My mother-in-law, Diana, started flushing the meal I had prepared down the toilet. I had been so tired of her repeated, unannounced visits, where she complained about my household chores. Still, I thought I should be nice to her and I decided to prepare a meal in an attempt to mend our relationship. However, after just one bite, she threw it away. My son should consider divorcing a woman like you. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't stop Diana from harassing me to try to get my husband to divorce me, and my anger exploded. I couldn't bear her odd behavior any longer. I was prepared to cut ties with her, even if it meant my husband would dislike me. That's when Nathan appeared and suddenly grabbed Diana's neck, taking a surprising action. I'm Elena, 28 years old. It's been a year since I married my husband, Nathan. I met Nathan when I was having a drink with my coworkers at a bar. I worked as a caregiver at a nursing home, and he was an office worker. Although we have completely different occupations, both our work gatherings just happened to be at the same bar that day. Some people have left the place early and groups were getting small. As I was chatting with some of my colleagues, Nathan and his colleagues joined us. Nathan and I were the same age, and as we shared stories of our experiences at work, the conversation flowed, and we ended up drinking together for 3 more hours. When we parted ways, Nathan asked for my number, which marked the beginning of our relationship. When we went on a date later, I found Nathan to be bright and easygoing, and I was immediately drawn to him. It seemed that he had a positive impression of me from the first time we met. Not long after, we embarked on our official relationship, and we got married after 2 years of dating. Neither Nathan nor I had high-paying jobs, so we didn't lead a luxurious life, but living together in a small apartment was very fulfilling. Even a year into our marriage, we haven't had any major arguments, and we continue to lead a happy life. In the meantime, I had one concern: my relationship with my mother-in-law. She's always mean and would visit our home without notice, and constantly nags. I have night shifts, so there are times when I go back to sleep after making lunch for Nathan. However, every time I'm sleeping, Diana shows up. She looks at me when I wake up and laughs at me. You're still sleeping at this hour, so lazy. And your appearance, don't you have any pride as a woman? With this kind of behavior, Nathan will get tired of you. I'm sorry. It's only 8 a.m. I had been working from the evening to the late night, and I still wanted to sleep. However, Diana woke me up like other times, and started checking if I'm cleaning home properly, or organizing the fridge well. I wonder what Nathan is thinking, marrying a woman who can't even do proper housework. I don't know why he continues this kind of life, instead of living with me. It seems she wants to live with Nathan. When I heard that she wants to live with us from Nathan at first, I strongly refused. Living with such an unpleasant lady would drive me crazy. Nathan also gently declined, understanding that living with his mother would be a burden for me. However, she doesn't seem to give up. She comes to our home almost every day, pointing out how I can't manage the housework, trying to undermine my confidence. I was also always sleep deprived, because she constantly disrupted my sleep. Nathan was also concerned about this, and we discussed our relationship with his mother several times. Nathan asked her to let us know in advance if she was coming to our home, but it seems she didn't care at all. Why do I need permission to visit my own son's apartment? Are you saying that Elena doesn't want to see me? I'm her mother-in-law, isn't that rude? It's not like that. But Elena is busy at work, so please try not to come on weekdays. She's at home every day. It's not like I'm not intentionally bothering her. Tell her that she should to say that to me directly, if she doesn't like me. Nathan was unable to say anything in response to that. Once she realized we couldn't say anything more to her, her actions escalated. I wanted to get ready for work, but Diana wouldn't leave. I need to start getting ready for work. More importantly, the window frames are dirty. Clean them right now. I was almost late for work, because of those things. I had been accumulating stress from dealing with her, but I knew that nothing would change if I continued like this. Since it is difficult for her to change, I decided that I needed to change myself. After all, if I could do the housework perfectly, she wouldn't have anything to complain about. That's why I decided to show her my better side. And just like any other day, she arrived at 8 o'clock in the morning. Good morning, Diana. Would you like some tea? Huh? Oh. I'll have some. She seemed puzzled by my change in attitude. Since I had a day off from work today, I had some extra time. Even though I hadn't slept much, after a night shift yesterday, I had cleaned the entire home in the morning and done my makeup perfectly. After the tea, my mother-in-law toured the rooms. She couldn't say anything, since there was no dust as usual. She furrowed her brow, looking frustrated. Then it was lunchtime. Diana, would you like to have lunch before you leave? Anticipating that she might have a meal here, I had already gone grocery shopping. Well, why not? I'll have it here. I began serving several dishes at the dining table. I'm not bad at cooking, and Nathan always praised my meal. I had confidence. I thought that if she enjoyed my cooking, it might improve her impression of me. Let's eat. She took a bite of roasted chicken, and then covered her mouth. She spat out what she had eaten. What is this? I can't eat this. Huh? I had tasted it, and it was delicious. As I was stunned by her words, she took the meal I had prepared and headed to the bathroom. And to my astonishment, she started throwing away what I had made down the toilet. Wait. Why would you do that? Even pig food tastes better than this. It's so awful, I can't eat it. But that doesn't mean you should throw them away. I bought good ingredients and cooked them for you. She looked at me, about to cry, and smirked. What good ingredients? You tried to feed me cheap quality supermarket stuff, didn't you? You shouldn't be proud making such meal. Anyhow, you've been complaining to Nathan about me, haven't you? Complaining? You're such a sly woman, not saying anything yourself, and making him do it. A woman like you should just break up with my son. I was filled with despair at her words. No matter how hard I tried, she would never acknowledge me. I felt foolish for desperately cleaning early in the morning and making an effort to host her. My anger exploded at her, being mean to me and laughing at me constantly. I didn't want to deal with such a spiteful person anymore. I was prepared to cut ties with her, even if it meant my husband would dislike me. Diana had just disposed of the chicken, and she was trying to flush soup and other items down the toilet. I was contemplating giving her a piece of my mind when suddenly Nathan appeared behind her. He grabbed her by the neck and brought her face close to the toilet. What are you doing? Nathan, stop, please. Elena cooked them all for you, Mom. You should waste it. Nathan had a stern expression as he tried to make his mother eat the discarded food from the toilet. There's no way I can eat something so disgusting. You're insane asking me to eat something that's been thrown in the toilet. The one who's insane here is you, Mom. Nathan loosened his grip on her and yelled, Do you even realize how hard Elena has tried? She has cleaned and prepared meals, even though she's been exhausted from work, just to get along with you. Yet, you flushing them down the toilet is way too much. Diana twisted her face in frustration and looked down. I had discussed it beforehand with Nathan, to make a good impression on her. Today, Nathan had even taken a day off, so we could have a meal together. Elena went out of her way to buy good meat, and asked me what you like. She prepared everything for you. And yet, how could you do this? I had no choice, it was terrible. Then you should have just left it if you didn't want to eat it. There was no need to throw it in the toilet. What's not to like about Elena? Why are you harassing her like this? That's all of her. Nathan, I raised you with so much love and care. You've always been mine, and now you've been taken away from me. I can't just stay quiet. Nathan opened his mouth wide in disbelief. What? So you didn't like me getting married that much? Just because of that, you're harassing Elena like this? It's not just that. It's not like I didn't want you to get married. Then why? I was planning on us living together after you got married. But now you're living separate from me. Elena said she didn't want to live together, right? What a selfish woman. I, too, was left in shock by her words. It's not like I said I didn't want to live with her first. It was Nathan who suggested that we should live together. He wanted at least the early days of our marriage to be spent as a couple, without anyone interfering. I agreed with his opinion, and that's why we started living in an apartment near his parents' house. Nathan is such a sweet, caring son. But refusing to live with me is just unthinkable. It's your influence, isn't it? She was glaring at me with a menacing expression. Not only content with living separately, you even tell Nathan not to come home. Are you trying to drive a wedge between Nathan and me? You're truly a nasty woman. She spat out at me and began shaking Nathan's shoulders. It would be better to divorce a woman like her. She's brainwashing you and trying to make you cut ties with me. You're being deceived. At this point, her delusion is nothing more than wackiness. With her eyes wide open as she confronted Nathan, she appeared far from sane. Mom, cut it out. Elena doesn't think like that. What are you saying? Wake up. Nathan, please come back and stay with me. Why are you so fixated on me? There's also Dad at home, and we live so close. It won't bring us any trouble even we don't live in the same house. No, I don't want your dad. I'd rather not have that old man around. He used to be handsome when he was young, but now he's just a nuisance, lying around watching TV. She seems to have a bad relationship with her husband, and had a contemptuous expression when talking about him. And then, she looked at Nathan, and let out a wicked smile. Nathan is my precious kid. He's been obedient and adorable since he was a child, always listening to me. But since meeting you, Elena, he's changed. She turned her gaze towards me slowly. I was so terrified I trembled. Since marrying you, Nathan has become rebellious. He never used to disagree with me before. It's all your fault. If only you weren't here. Feeling in danger, I tried to step back, but in the confined space of the bathroom, there was no escape. I ended up bumping into the wall. When her hands slowly reached for my neck, and were about to touch me, Nathan grabbed her hand. Enough already. It's all your imagination, Mom. I'm not yours. Even before our marriage, Nathan had been struggling with his mother's suffocating attitude. He couldn't be rude to her because he was kind, but he had been feeling stifling. Yet, he hadn't thought that her attachment to him was this strong. His face turned red as he shouted. I didn't argue with Mom's opinions, because it was pointless. When you're contradicted, you just screams hysterically, until everything goes the way you want. But I've had enough. What are you talking about? Nathan, you're on my side, right? You used to say that. You love your mom. That was years ago. Yes, I'm grateful for you for raising me and giving birth to me, but now Elena is the most important thing to me. If you're going to disrupt our life together, I'll cut ties with you. When Nathan said that, Diana was panicked. What are you saying? You're going to abandon me? I can't live if you leave me. You have a pension, and you are financially good, right? If you need money, I'll give it to you. So please, stop interfering in my life. It's not about money. I just need you in my life. Please, don't talk about cutting ties. Diana clung to Nathan, but he stared at her with a deeply exasperated expression. Seeing Nathan's reaction, her face lost its color. What can I do to make you forgive me? Will you forgive me if I reconcile with Elena? Yeah, if Elena forgives you, I'll consider it. That's it. Elena, I'm so sorry. It was my fault. I apologized, please forgive me. Nathan sighed at Diana's clear attempt to be slick. Then, he turned to me. Elena, can you forgive her with this apology? Diana looked at me, with hopeful eyes, thinking that her apology was enough to be forgiven. I was filled with discomfort from her attitude. You can't expect to be forgiven with an insincere apology like that. What? You won't forgive me even though I apologized? Are you really that narrow-minded? What are you talking about? You're only apologizing to me because you don't want Nathan to leave. You haven't shown any remorse for what you did to me. I won't accept that kind of apology. This woman. That's why I'm telling you to leave and never come to our house again. In response to Nathan's cold voice, she clung to his leg with tears in her eyes. Wait. Please don't say that, Nathan. While his mother cried and shouted, the doorbell rang. And when I headed for the front door, my father-in-law, Chris, was standing there with a solemn expression. I'm sorry, is Diana inside? Yes, she is. Heaving a sigh, he gazed at Dana, who was in a state of turmoil and causing a scene. Cut it out already. Stop causing trouble for Nathan and Elena. Why are you even here? Don't tell me what to do. Nathan, I'm sorry. Lately, she's been acting strange, muttering negative things about Elena's by herself at home, and I started worrying that something might be seriously wrong with her. But I never expected it to be this bad. Diana clung to Nathan, her hair disheveled as she seemed to lose control. Observing her like this, Chris realized something was far from normal. He explained Diana's behavior over the past days, his attempts to get her to become more independent from Nathan, her refusal to listen, their daily arguments, the lack of conversation, and her recent habit of leaving the house each morning, likely to harass me, which he disapproved of, but was unable to stop. As a father, you'll never understand. A mother sees her son differently. Just because you think that way, it doesn't mean you can boss him around forever. Nathan is already a grown man. Thinking for himself and taking action is a good thing. We should support him as parents. Shut up. I don't need you telling me what to do. You're always working and neglecting your parenting duties. She seemed completely unreceptive to her husband's words, clinging to Nathan the entire time. Chris heaved another sigh. I've had enough too. I can't keep up with you anymore. Please, let's get a divorce. Fine. I don't need you. Chris remained expressionless, his thoughts inscrutable. But seeing a long-married couple splitting up so easily like this left me with a sense of sadness. Without even looking at Chris, Diana continued to talk to Nathan. Nathan is mine. My sweet Nathan. She kept chanting Nathan's name like a spell, and it was becoming increasingly frightening. She couldn't hear either my voice or Nathan's. Feeling helpless and at a loss, the police suddenly arrived at our house. We received a report from someone that there was a trespasser causing a disturbance here. The police. I called them, Chris said in a calm voice. I figured you wouldn't listen to us, and you might even refuse to leave, so I reported it before coming here. He muttered that he was glad he made the report. Then, he pointed to Diana, and said, the one causing the commotion is this person. What? I'm Nathan's mother, so this isn't trespassing. Nathan opened his mouth and addressed the police officers, looking troubled as he glanced at us. I've severed ties with this woman, so she's a stranger now. Can you please take her away? Nathan. Why are you saying that? Hey, Nathan. You're a kind person, right? You'll forgive me, won't you? The police officers tried to take her away, grabbing her arms and pulling her out, as she resisted and screamed. Nathan remained silent. Elena. Convince Nathan, please. I'm his mother. Kicking me out like this is ridiculous. I promise not to harass him anymore. Say something to Nathan. She yelled desperately at me, but I couldn't move. Then, she was taken away by the police, leaving our home. Afterwards, Nathan and I moved, without informing Diana. It seemed like she made several attempts to visit Nathan's workplace, but she was escorted out by security guards and reported to the police. A restraining order was issued against her. I also had concerns about her coming to my workplace, so I consulted with my boss and was transferred to another elderly care facility, operated by the same organization. I blocked her calls, and I was eventually succeeded to sever ties with Diana. With her emotional support, Nathan had also cut ties with her, which pushed her into a depressive state. I heard that her appearance deteriorated. She had messy hair and stopped wearing makeup. Perhaps she lost motivation, as her home turned into a hoarder's paradise, and she was shunned by the neighbors. It seemed that no one was concerned about her anymore. Chris formally divorced her, and left the house. Initially, the house was in his name, but he decided to let her keep it. In exchange, he got full control of his savings, and bought a house in the countryside, to lead a self-sustained life. As for us, a sense of peace finally returned to our lives. I was genuinely pleased that Nathan, who is usually calm, yelled for my sake this time. With Nathan by my side, I felt that we could overcome anything. Despite the inevitable challenges ahead, I strongly believed we could face them together.